Welcome to the deep dive. The Las Vegas Grand Prix, well, it was a spectacle of noise and neon, for sure. But the drama, it went so far beyond just the checkered flag.
It really did. The dust has settled, but what we're seeing now, the impact of that race, it's huge.
We've been poring over all the intel from inside the paddock, and what we found, I mean, it feels like tectonic plates are shifting right across the grid.
That's right. Our mission today is, to really cut through the noise. We're going to do a forensic analysis of what the sources are
We
saying.
want to find the true, maybe even the brutal implications of what went down.
Exactly. The things that will define this championship fight, restructure entire teams, and, maybe even determine the legacy of a 7-time world champion.
So this isn't just a race review. It's a look inside F1 management, inside some pretty desperate engineering. We're tackling McLaren's dangerous need for speed, the massive political shakeup at Aston Martin under Adrian Newey's shadow.
And, of course, the shocking struggles of Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari.
And on the flip side, the sudden emergence of a genuine future star at Mercedes. So let's start with the team that showed, well, the most visible sign of that desperation, McLaren.
We have to start there. Because the #1 learning from Vegas is that McLaren has to risk everything. I mean, everything down to the millimeter just to keep up.
And when we say everything, we're talking about breaking the rules. That double disqualification was just stunning.
It was.
The reports we have detail that they were running those cars so incredibly low.
So low that the floor plank, that bit of wood under the car, it wore down by more than the legal limit. They just pushed it right to the breaking point.
Why do they do that, though? What's the context for that kind of risk?
Well, with these ground effect regulations from 2022, it's all about how close you can get the floor to the track. That's where you find that massive, efficient downforce.
So it's the difference between being competitive and, well, being nowhere.
Precisely. The sources say the limit is less than 1 millimeter of wear. They crossed that line, they chose speed over compliance, and they knew the margin was tiny.
So this wasn't just a setup mistake or hitting a bump. This was a calculated, almost necessary risk.
It was. And the big takeaway is that this confirms McLaren's biggest fear. If they back off even a little bit, they fall right out of contention with Red Bull.
They're living on a razor's edge, just trying to breathe the same air as Verstappen.
Exactly. And that pressure makes the end of this championship just agonizing for them. They're fighting for P2 in the constructors. They have a 24-point lead, but there are only 58 points left.
And a 0 on the board from a DQ, that's catastrophic. That single gamble could come back to haunt them at the very end.
And now they go to Qatar.
Which couldn't be more different, right? Vegas was bumpy, cold, no data. Qatar is smooth, predictable. It should be easier.
It should be, in theory. But that psychological pressure, that need to find every last millimeter of performance, that doesn't go away. They know one tiny mistake, even on an easy track, puts them right back in the danger zone.
The machine is under pressure, but so is the management. If we shift from the mechanical risk at McLaren to the political risk at, say, Aston Martin, we see the same instability.
Oh, absolutely.
Aston Martin is facing a huge moment. We're looking at another change for head of team, which would be the 4th in 5 years. I mean, that's a management grinder.
It's instability personified, isn't it? The reports say Mike Crack is stepping aside. He'll stay with the team, but not in the top job.
And the replacement is supposedly Andy Cowell from Mercedes.
Yes, who handled engines there. But his role won't be designing the Honda power unit. It's about being the critical link between the chassis guys and the engine guys.
Okay, but you can't talk about leadership at Aston Martin without talking about the big name, right?
Yeah.
Adrian Newey. How much is he behind all this right now?
He is the driving force. The sources are clear on this. He is already acting as the shadow team principal.
A shadow team principal.
Yes, with way more power than he ever had at Red Bull. His condition for joining was having this absolute authority over the whole technical direction.
So he's the conductor, and he's swapping out his first violinist before the concert even starts.
That's a great way to put it. And the sources suggest that Cowell, while he's a brilliant engineer, he struggled with the operational side of things, with strategy, with car setup.
So it's not about technical skill, it's about conforming to Newey's vision.
It's all about that. Newey demands total unity between chassis and power unit, so whoever takes that top job has to align completely with him, no questions asked.
It reminds me of Mattia Binotto at Ferrari, another brilliant engineer whose skills just didn't translate to being a team principal. The politics of the job are just as important.
Exactly. You can't contradict Newey, you have to pull the same cart. Aston Martin's entire future now hinges on Cowell accepting that. If this doesn't work, they're just delaying their path to the top.
Okay, before we move on to the next big drama, if you are watching this deep dive on YouTube, welcome to the DRS zone. We're diving into the biggest F1 secrets from the paddock. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more.
Right. Now for the human drama. And this might be the most brutal learning from our sources. The partnership between Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. It's been a major disappointment for both sides.
A disacierto is the word the sources used. A profound misalignment.
It's shocking, really, a transfer that was supposed to redefine the sport.
And statistically, this is his worst season. The sources say he just looks defeated. This is not what he signed up for.
And it's not what Ferrari signed up for either. They hoped he'd be like Schumacher, bring in this new structure, this new method, and use his political weight to bend the team to his will.
And the verdict is, he failed to do that.
Completely. And what's really fascinating and kind of tragic is the political side of it. For all his global fame, he just didn't have the charisma or maybe the timing to win over that rigid Ferrari structure.
So his feedback, his technical reports,
they were seen as complaints, not as guidance from a 7-time champion. He's only seen the worst face of Ferrari. The tough criticism, the internal politics, the team above all mentality.
He thought the rules wouldn't apply to him, but the system just consumed him.
It did. And now there's this looming threat that just underscores the whole failure.
KIMI Antonelli, his rookie teammate.
The sources are warning of a potential catastrophe for Hamilton. Antonelli is just 2 good results away from possibly finishing ahead of him in the championship.
A rookie beating the man they brought in to be their savior. That would be a brutal blow.
It would solidify the failure of the whole project and point towards a really agonizing 2026 for Hamilton, who just looks more and more disconnected.
And that failure leads us straight over to the silver lining at Mercedes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're fighting for P2. But the real story is Antonelli's sudden emergence.
The transformation has been incredible. Early in the season, he was struggling. He even got public criticism from Toto Wolff after Austria. He looked like he might crack.
But he's resurged, as the sources put it. He's overcome that lack of experience.
And you just have to look at the Brazil podium for the proof. That long, mature stint on the hard tires, building a 5-second gap to Leclerc.
Those aren't rookie moves.
Not at all. The sources call them echoes of one of the greats. He used the pressure to build conviction, not to crumble.
So what does this mean long-term?
It means Mercedes is set for the 2026 rule change. They have their future star confirmed. Antonelli has proven he has the pace and the maturity. They've secured their future, while Ferrari is left dealing with the fallout of the Hamilton gamble.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Let's bring the focus back, though, to the place that started all this drama. Las Vegas itself, it's a real mix of love and hate in F1, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The critics have a long list. The asphalt was terrible, just not F1 standard. Bumpy, slippery.
And the safety concerns were huge. High speeds on that poor surface, the manhole covers, the crane incidents.
Plus, the schedule was infuriating for everyone, and the cold was a real problem for the tires and the fans.
Fernando Alonso basically said the track doesn't meet F1 standards, and it's only allowed because F1 itself promotes it.
Which is a damning point. But then you have the other side. The defenders, the people who loved it.
Because it was unpredictable. It gave us surprises, a ton of overtaking.
And real strategic variety, like what Antonelli pulled off. The drama was off the charts.
So we have to accept it, right? It's flawed, maybe even dangerous, but it delivers exciting racing. And historically, Vegas has decided titles. This chaos might just influence this one too.
The human drama is one thing, but the machine, like McLaren's illegal floor and the circuit itself, like the flaws in Vegas, they're just as decisive in this sport.
So, to quickly recap our deep dive, we've seen McLaren push to desperation, literally breaking the rules to compete. We've got NEWEY acting as a shadow ruler at Aston Martin, forcing big changes.
And that stark contrast between Hamilton and Antonelli is defining the futures of both Ferrari and Mercedes, a really brutal reality for the veteran champion.
An incredible set of learnings.
My final thought for you to mull over, and it comes from that McLaren situation, is this. In today's hyper-competitive F1, is it even possible to win without operating in the shadow of illegality, even just for a millimeter? McLaren felt they had to risk disqualification just to stay in the fight. So what does that dependence on pushing the rules past their breaking point, what does it mean for the very spirit of the sport?
That is something to think about until the next race weekend. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the F1 paddock. Make sure you subscribe and follow the DRS Zone wherever you get your content for more intense analysis. We'll see you on the next deep dive.